Hello, everyone, and welcome back to tonight's debate show. My name is Scarlett, and I'll be your host for tonight. And today we're going to be discussing the old age debate of nature versus nurture. We have Sharon, Stella, and Rose from the nature team, and we have Diane, Stacy, and Alyssa from the nurture team. So, let's start with the nature team. Can you start by telling us why you believe that nature is more important than nurture?
Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the nature side of the house. My name is Rose, and today I'll be explaining why I think people differ from each other due to our natures. I presume you may remember a certain topic that we were taught in our biology class called variation. In that lesson, we learned that the main reason why all species are different and unique from each other is due to our genetic differences. Just like that, I believe our behavior and personality depends on the genes we inherited from our parents.
Thank you, Rose, for stating your perspective. Now, nurture team.
Hey, hello, I'm Alyssa, AJ. So I'm on the side of nurture. I'll be talking about nurture. So, what is nurture? Nurture means that a person's behavior and personality are developed by teaching and experiences, and our groups believes in it. Even though it is true that physical traits are usually genetic, it doesn't mean that a child's behavior are genetic. I believe how a person grows up or become a good/bad person always depend on their experience, their surroundings, their friends and their teachers and how they grew up. Have you ever heard of the Burmese tale called Dini now? That's exactly what nature is. How one bird grew up to be a goody two shoe and while another bird grew up to be the rotten apple.
Thank you both Rose and Alyssa for sharing your perspective. Now it's time for the rebuttal stage. So nature team, how are you going to defend your team?
Hello everyone, I am Stella from the nature side. So today I will be talking about genetic influence related to our group. Our genetic makeup influence various aspects of our physical and mental characteristics. For example, eyes color, height, and certain health conditions are primarily determined by our genes. Genetic factors also contribute to intelligence, personality, traits, and other more.
Thank you, Stella, for stating your perspective. Now, nurture team, how are you going to defend yourself?
Hello, I am Candace Wilson from Nature Team, and today I'm going to state my opinions regarding this matter. So, I have one question, although I'm not allowed to ask. So, how are you so assured that their natural characteristic will not be wasted? Like basically nowadays we are living in a world where people are starting to accept what our opinions is like if even though we are identified as females in genders, like we can be our pronouns can be he or him if we want to, and people respect our opinions because there are many debates going on about this matter, and yeah, people are starting to accept what we think and what we like to be called. And this is why I believe that what you have stated, the natural characteristic, it can change, like if we want to, like by surgeries and stuff. Like the technology is many more advanced than the past centuries. Also, if we talk about in talents, like in my point of view, the talents we can also be wasted without hard work, because talent will just be talent if you don't work. Like if you stay, then your talent will be wasted if not being used effectively. After all, thought is what it takes for us to make changes in our lives, and that is what I believe.
Thank you, Diane, for your wonderful speech. Now, I think it's time for the audience to ask a question. So, Miss Audience, can you please state your name and your questions to the team member?
Yes, so my name is Mipua Tangwi, and right now I would like to ask a question to the nature's team. So anyone can answer this. So could you tell me how important nature is to you?
I'm Rose and I will answer your questions. So yes, I personally believe that nature is critical for us. Like I've stated before, we inherit many things from the genes of our parents, such as health issues, personality, and characteristics. However, unlike nurture, we cannot actually treat or change these specific things. For example, let's talk about mental health. It is true that if a child is raised in a difficult environment full of childhood trauma, those experiences may definitely influence that child's mental health. But the kid can still recover from those trauma by attending some daily therapies or maybe going to like hospitals. However, I think a child who was born mentally unstable can hardly be normal again, no matter how many treatments they get, unless you completely alter their genes and cells.
Okay, thank you for your answer. So another question for the other team. Anyone can answer this. So do you think like a child's personality and the way they think will change due to a different environment, like a different nurture?
Yes, I think a child's personality can change depending on their future, and a person. It is not easy for a person to change, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that they cannot change, right? A traumatic event can happen, or which is one of their experiences. The child might move to another place, which is also their experience. So that's why a child's personality or his mind, his thinking, it could change a lot depending on the experiences.
Thank you for your answer.
Thank you both team for answering the audience question, and thank you Ms. Mebuwadawi for asking the questions to both sides of the team. Now we have reached the final stage of the debate show, the conclusion part. So, members of the Nature's team, it is time for you to conclude this talk.
My name is Santapiu, and first I would like to say what nature is. Like all of you guys have said before, like an individual's behaviors and physical characteristics, also like physiological characteristics, including our ability and our personality and interest, are influenced by the genes inherited by our parents. Firstly, I would like to defend the statements that like James gave, like I guess like she talked about the people with talent, like people with no talent can work hard to achieve the talent they are dreaming for. But actually, it's true that they can achieve like a particular goal, but they need to hard work for a long time. But for people who have lots of talent, they don't need much time to achieve that goal. So it means like their IQ, which also means like intelligence, still the same, even though the environment and like their experience change. Another example is like I want to share about my own example. Like my grandmother, she has like a disease for like narrow veins. Like her parents also have that, and like her grandparents also have that. So she have that too. However, she tried to avoid them. Like it still happens when she was very old enough to have that disease. And like another example is like for girls like having acne. Some girls have acne, but some girls do not have acne. Like for girls that do not have acne, like however, some like they don't even use skincare, but they don't have acne because like her parents also don't have these, like her ancestors don't have these kinds of things. So like the nature influence the kind of like physical characteristics she is having. So that concludes like the nature is more important than the nature. Like whatever experience we have throughout our age, like our nature is just going to influence more than our nature. So thank you. That is our conclusion.
Thank you, Ms. Sharon, for stating your conclusion. Now, Nurture's team, it is your time to conclude your talk.
Hello, everybody. I am Natasha Stacy from Nurture's team. So before I conclude this particular topic, I would like to defend the statement that Mrs. Zico has given. In what she said, she talked about babies that are born naturally mentally ill, and no matter what she goes through, no matter the experiences, they cannot change that. But if you really think about it, are babies actually really born mentally ill, or is it just the experience and the environment they are brought up in that affects their mental health? Because everybody is born that way, the same way, but the way we brought the babies up, and the types of different environment, I think that's the main thing that affects them. That's the thing that gets them hurt, makes them maybe confident. It grows them. It helps them grow into different personalities and different individuals. So, in my point of view, I would say while nature gives the raw materials, the genes, and the ingredients, I think nurture is the real the real sculpture that shapes us into our own unique individuals. So and nurture, like, it showcases the power of our surroundings, which can influence our personalities and our minds. So yeah, while nature is something that gives us the genetics and our physical features and structures, nurture are the experience and the environment that shapes us into ourselves and the perfect human being called you, and that is the main thing that makes us different and grow into unique individuals. And yeah, that's my take on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Stacey, for your conclusion. And ladies and gentlemen, we've just witnessed a lively and thought-provoking discussion on the topic of nature versus nurture. I would like to thank both guests of the nature team and the nurture team, along with our audience, for their participation. Now it is time for you, ladies and gentlemen, to decide who's the real winner is. Is it the nature team or is it the nurture team? Let us know and give your reasons down in the comment down below. And thank you everyone for this night's show.